institutional commodity. We recognize the cracks in your facade. We don't believe in your patriarchal God. I wanna free all humanity. I don't wanna be a political prisoner. I wanna free all humanity. I don't wanna be a political prisoner. I wanna free all humanity. I don't wanna be a political prisoner. I wanna free all humanity. I don't wanna be another fucking prisoner. Amnesty is an inherently defeatist position to take, one that is contingent upon surrender in order for prisoners of war to be released.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here this evening on UCY.tv. This is the Liberty Battles radio show, and I am your host, Alex Allen. We come at you live here for the Liberty Battles radio show every Monday and Friday right here and only here on UCY.tv. Again, the show is live. It's not pre-recorded. Some of the shows here on UCY are pre-recorded. Some of them are live. Mine happens to be one of the live ones. So, you get to hear my voice live unless I'm, sick or something like I was a couple of weeks ago and we have to do, like a rerun, a pre-recorded something or another. If I'm sick or if I'm busy or if I'm doing something or, for, technical difficulties, a power outage, something, anything that would, interrupt the flow of normal events, and that's the only time that the show is pre-recorded. But again, thank you so much for tuning into the show this evening. This is a show where, we talk about just about everything. The Monday show is strictly gun talk. So if you're a gun enthusiast, if you're a gun owner, if you're a supporter of gun ownership, a supporter of, gun rights, anything guns, we talk about gun news, gun politics, industry news, just all kinds of stuff related to guns. And, that is the Monday show. And then the Friday show, which will be this evening, obviously, because this is Friday, the 7th day of, February 2014. Can you believe it's already here? The Friday show, we more or less just talk about politics, government, culture. Sometimes maybe guns will be thrown in there as well. Just news, articles. I'll usually go over most of the articles that I've written, that week because I do write articles. For digitaljournal.com, I write news articles and op-ed pieces for them. I also now write, as of a few weeks ago, I write articles for the antimedia.org. So I do articles over there. I also have a blog over at newculturalnarrative.blogspot.com. And, you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/Liberty Battles. Also, the Alternative Journalism Facebook page, facebook.com/Alternative Journalism. You can also follow me on Twitter at ALN845 and at Liberty Battles. And, I'd encourage you to also go check out the UCY.tv, social media, the UCY, Twitter account and the UCY.tv Facebook page. That is the great network that I'm broadcasting on here. And I'd also encourage you to go check out some of the other great shows that UCY has to offer. There's new shows coming in all the time, I believe. I'd love to be able to support all of them and listen to all of them, but there's just not I just don't have the I don't have the time to listen to all of them because there's so many great shows here on UCY, but I'd encourage you to check out as many as you possibly can. And there's pretty much something for everyone here on UCY. All right, I guess that's most of my promotionals. I do want to say tonight I am doing something different. So you're gonna have to bear with me this evening. In fact, I need to move the microphone around here a little bit, so excuse me for that. I am doing something a little bit different this evening. I am doing a video recording, along with the live radio show. The video footage, obviously, live anywhere, but I am doing a video recording along with the show, and then what I'll be doing is I'll be splitting this video up into clips, and I'll be putting it up on up on YouTube in different clips where I'm talking about different things or anything that might make an interesting video. But that's the deal there. So you'll have to pardon me for the next couple of shows probably, because I'm going to be getting everything situated. I've got a lot going on that I normally don't have going on during the show. Usually during the show, it's just been, me and the computer and the microphone and Skype and that's pretty much it. But now I have a couple of different cameras going. I've got a webcam going, hooked up to the computer. I've got cords and wires running all over the freaking place. I don't have enough. I really just do not have the room for this, because I live in a small house, and this is a small room in particular, but I mean, I'm just trying to do this, and I've got stuff set up all over the place, and I've got a monitor behind me. I've got like a TV screen here that I'm going to be using for the video footage for the show, and be pulling up clips and stuff on there. Hopefully, probably nothing of that nature this evening, since this is the first time I'm doing this, and I mean, it's just a whole mess. So again, you're going to have to bear with me a little bit as I get used to having all of this stuff going on, because I am trying to improve the show. I'm trying to improve everything that I'm doing in alternative media, everything I'm doing in independent media. I'm just trying to improve the quality of everything that I'm doing. So there's going to be some bumps in the road, with regards to technology and getting everything ready as I go along, and hopefully everyone will be able to stick with me throughout all of that. But all of that being said, all of that aside, I want to again welcome you to the show this evening. I have several different topics that I would like to discuss, namely some of the main articles that I have written here recently and haven't had a chance to talk about them yet. Some of this stuff is going to be a little bit old news, I guess, but you haven't heard my opinion on it, and I'm going to break down some of this stuff from my perspective that I obviously haven't had the chance to talk about this week, because the Monday show was Gun Show, and I just talked about guns on there, and then after that, this is my first show since then, so you get to hear my delayed reaction to some of these events that have been going on. And then I also have a reaction to a case that just happened. It was either yesterday, I believe it was yesterday. No, it was the day before yesterday, I believe, when I wrote this article. But basically, it's a very zombie-like event that's going on, and it's quite creepy. A man eating another man's face off, and we saw something like this back a couple of years ago. And I mean, it's just crazy. We're basically seeing an entire zombie apocalypse breaking out, folks. I mean, that's all that can be said about it. But I'll get into that in a little bit. First off, I want to cover this whole Super Bowl thing. I want to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl and some of the stuff that went on there, because I obviously haven't had a chance to talk about it since it happened. And obviously we have the 9/11 truther, making a big scene there, and that was a huge deal. I want to talk a little bit about that. And of course we have just the whole hysteria surrounding the event, and just how it's used as a distraction, and how football in general, sports in general, are used as distractions in society, and just as a general rule of thumb, how everything is kind of messed up in society, and how people are completely backwards. They know everything there is to know about football, but they don't know anything about anything else. They don't know who the vice president is, and that's not even an exaggeration. I mean, literally, some people don't know who the vice president is. A huge chunk of people in America don't know who the vice president is, and it's sad. But anyway, I'm going to be getting into that in just a minute. So first of all, I do want to discuss this whole 9/11 truther thing, which again, for most of you, this is going to be old news, but I just want to kind of break it down from my perspective and tell you a little bit about what I see going on here. I wrote an article for Digital Journal here a few days ago, right after this happened, titled 9/11 Truther Interrupts Super Bowl Press Conference. In fact, I actually wrote it that evening, the evening of Super Bowl, and just directly after I saw the breaking news that it had happened, I kind of started gathering information, and then I wrote the article that evening and put it out. To my knowledge, I was one of the first people to write an article over it. Not to toot my own horn or anything. I'm just saying that's what happened. But I'll read it off to you a little bit about what I wrote. A 9/11 truther decided to interrupt a Super Bowl press conference tonight in order to spread a little 9/11 truth on ESPN. Investigate 9/11. 9/11 was perpetrated by people within our own government. Those were the words uttered by a random man who decided to grab the microphone in the middle of a Super Bowl press conference this evening. Fans and the press were expecting to hear the players and coaches talking about the game and about football in general, but they got to hear a little bit about the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks as well. It's no secret that a huge chunk of people question the official narrative behind the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001. It's also no secret that a lot of these 9/11 truthers, because of the lack of coverage of their alternative points of view in mainstream media, tend to resort to drastic measures in order to get their message out. Back in 2007, a group of truthers ambushed Geraldo Rivera as he was live on Fox News. They chanted out 9/11 was an inside job very loudly, interrupting the program, eliciting an angry response from Rivera. For those who don't know, he basically flipped them off. The crowd was led by radio host and founder of the 9/11 Truth Movement, Alex Jones. And interestingly enough, Rivera has been on Jones's show and pointed out that he respects the questions these people have been asking. Tonight's incident likely comes as a result of the news that the Seattle Seahawks coach, Pete Carroll, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, maybe, get this, a 9/11 truther himself. Now, many of you have probably already heard this, that the Seattle Seahawks coach, which if you don't know, the Seattle Seahawks were one of the teams in the Super Bowl. It was the Seahawks and the Broncos, the Denver Broncos, I believe. Of course, as you can tell, I don't follow football. I don't follow sports. I don't really know that much about it. But I did know that, Seattle Seahawks coach Pete Carroll, Pete Corral, however you pronounce it, word on the street is that he is a 9/11 truther himself, or that he at least questions the official narrative of 9/11, and that's all I really mean when I say 9/11 truther. I mean, a 9/11 truther to me is just not someone who runs around necessarily saying, oh, it was the government, or oh, it was this, or oh, it was that. It's just people in general who question the official narrative, who understand that there are questions to be asked regarding, what really happened on 9/11, because we don't know. We haven't known. We may never know exactly what happened, but those of us with a little bit of reasoning, those of us with who seek the truth, who want the truth, who desire the truth, who need the truth, we understand that there are legitimate questions to be asked, and a lot of people come to a lot of conclusions. I've come to a few myself. I do believe that criminal elements within the government, criminal elements within the military-industrial complex, played a huge role in 9/11, obviously. I believe that, and I don't necessarily. I've said before, I don't think George Bush himself was standing there with a plunger. A lot of people will actually tell you that, and that's also a lot of how the 9/11 Truth Movement gets sort of manipulated and messed around with a little bit in mainstream culture, mainstream news. People think, oh, a 9/11 truther thinks that President Bush himself was doing 9/11. No. This has nothing to do with President Bush himself. This goes way higher than President Bush. In fact, in my humble opinion, from my humble perspective, just knowing how the presidency went, knowing, just a very minuscule amount of information about me, just generally how things work, I don't think President Bush knew a damn thing about anything when he was in office. To be honest, I don't think he knew. I genuinely think George Bush thought he was doing the right thing in all situations. I think he had, people people running the scene, or running behind the scenes, running the whole, show behind the scenes. And, I honestly don't think George Bush knew anything about can you seriously look at the guy and see some of his speeches and see how he talks and see, just the way he presents himself and say that, oh, this is a man who is totally in tune and he knows what's going on and he's part of the New World Order, or he's part of the, secrets. My God, folks. George Bush's father, absolutely. George Bush Sr., yeah, he's a total insider, CIA, total, just a total globalist, corporate shill insider. But George W. Bush, George Bush Jr., our most recent Bush president, that guy didn't know his head from a hole in the ground. Nonetheless, what was going on around him and what was being done behind the scenes, he was just the front man. He felt like he had to follow in his daddy's footsteps and, be the president. And that's all I think of George W. Bush. I think he was a useful idiot. I think they used him to appeal to the down-home conservative base in America, and I think he was nothing more than that, just a front man. And there were criminal elements running things behind the scene, especially with 9/11. I think he, to this day, probably doesn't know anything about what really happened. He thinks what the average American thinks, what the average what the average Joe on the street thinks, which actually I shouldn't say that, because a lot of people are actually starting to become 9/11 truthers. A lot of people are starting to actually question 9/11, and they're forming good solid questions and coming up with theories of their own, which is great. More and more people are starting to wake up. I haven't seen any statistics or anything recently, but I don't usually go by statistics anyway. I think statistics are always bloated and ridiculous, but yeah, a lot of people are starting to question. So I guess I shouldn't, I guess I shouldn't say he thinks what the average person thinks. But the point is, George W. Bush didn't know what he was doing. The insiders ran it. And when I say 9/11 truth, when I say 9/11 was an inside job, I don't mean George Bush was standing there himself blowing up the buildings, driving the planes into the buildings, calling the shots behind the scenes. Yeah, you need to go do that right now. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't think it's like some sort of movie like that. I think there were criminal elements, within the government, within the military industrial complex that set up the terrorists, and then they just let it go. And I think that's pretty much all that went on there. But enough of that. This 9/11 truther who spoke out at the Super Bowl, wow, first of all, to get in through all this security, to get in through all of this nonsense security that is so hyped up, and this is what gets me. This is the irony of the whole situation here, is that they hype this up and they say, oh, there might be a terrorist attack, Al Qaeda might attack, or this might happen, or that might happen. So we've got to have all of this huge, massive security state. We've got to have a huge surveillance state, a huge police state, a huge security state. We got to have Black Hawk helicopters circling the stadium. We got to have, we got to pat you down before you come in, and we got to have just this total violation of basic civil rights, and just a total surveillance state, police state, the whole 9 yards. But basically total martial law at the freaking Super Bowl, because Al Qaeda might attack, because this might happen, that might happen, and they hype it up in the media and show everybody how afraid they should be of all of the surveillance, of all of the security, and they show everybody that they're in charge and everything's going on. But this one guy, this one simple independent journalist, this 9/11 truther, he's able to get in this place through all of this security, go past all of the security, get in there, get into the main press conference, go up on stage with one of the football players, and now yell out 9/11 was an inside job, blah, 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 on national television. That just goes to show you that all of this surveillance state, all of this, total police state, all of this crap, it's just propaganda. It's just blown up. It's there for show, to get people to think that the government is in charge, to get people to think that, that they're in charge, that they're the big guys, that, they have the control, they have the power. They don't have the power. If they don't have the power to keep one simple 9/11 truther, one simple independent journalist, just a guy wearing a shirt, for lack of anything better to describe him as, just a guy, if they're just gonna let him in there and let him up on the stage, which I think it's a great thing, by the way, that he was able to get such a great, powerful message out on national television. I mean, it was trending on Twitter, it was trending on Facebook, everybody was talking about it. It was a big national thing. I think it was great, but I'm just saying, if he's able to get in there, it just shows you that this whole surveillance state, the whole police state, everything, it's all just a big sham. It's all just a big scam. It's all just propaganda. It's just a big movie. It's just a big pretend sort of, it's all pretend. It's all plain pretend. And that's all it is. And that's all that can be said about it, really. It's all just hype. It's all just pretend. And speaking of playing pretend, that's apparently what actor and former NFL player Terry Crews likes to do. I wrote another article for Digital Journal a couple of days ago. Actor and former NFL player Terry Crews had some curt words for an interviewer who wanted to ask him questions about politics. Crews said, "I'm an actor. I just pretend." Luke Rudkowski of the We Are Change organization has an interesting history when it comes to interviewing people. He's known for going to huge press events and asking questions that would normally go unasked by the average journalist or representative from any mainstream news organization. He once had conversations with actor Chevy Chase and musician Stevie Wonder over President Obama and some of his controversial policies. Some people don't seem to take too kindly to Luke's insertion of political dialogue into non-political events, however. When he spoke with actor and former NFL player Terry Crews at a recent press event, Crews suggested that he didn't want to talk about anything other than his career. Luke asked Crews about the State of the Union address and what he thought of President Barack Obama. Crews started off with a humorous response about the State of the Union preventing a new episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Things weren't so laid back after this, however. Rudkowski continued the conversation by asking Crews if he was okay with Obama lying and spying on everyone illegally. They then had a quick talk on the NSA program and the revelations of whistleblower Edward Snowden, eventually leading Crews to say, "I don't get into that. I'm an actor. I just pretend." Crews was caught on camera making comments about the nature of Luke's questions, suggesting that he get off the carpet. According to Luke Rudkowski's Facebook, the 45-year-old actor has blocked him, but that isn't preventing Luke from reaching out for a follow-up interview. And of course, on Facebook, he said, "I'm offering at Terry Crews a chance to study up and redeem himself for another interview. Please let him know that since he blocked me." And that's what Luke said on Facebook. First of all, Luke Rudkowski, clap, 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 bravo. Great job to Luke Rudkowski in everything he does. This guy is just the man. He is just the man. He's going out there. He's not afraid. He's not a wuss. He's going out there and he's asking questions. He doesn't care what people think of him. He doesn't care what people say about him. He doesn't care about how he's viewed by the average person. He's just going out there and getting the truth for people who respect the truth and who want the truth and who need the truth. He's just going out there, getting the truth, getting the real footage, asking the real questions. I have to give him props for that. It's just great. You can think what you want about We Are Change and some of these other organizations. You can think whatever you want about some of these individuals, but the fact of the matter is Luke Rudkowski is the man. He has been doing real journalism for so long now. Excuse me. And, as a journalist, Luke is definitely one of my heroes. He's definitely someone I look up to. And I think, I definitely, I want to be like that. I want to have that personality. I want to aspire. And any journalist, I think, should model themselves after Luke Rudkowski because, he is a real journalist. This is the definition of journalism here, what Luke Rudkowski's been doing for for so many years. And of course, this is an interesting thing that he does a lot. He'll go to these press events for big celebrities, big Hollywood stars or football players, sports players or singers or whatever. And he'll go to these big red carpet press events, where people from mainstream news and tabloids and celebrity gossip magazines will just get up there and ask random questions. Oh, what you're doing? As if anyone really cares what they're doing. The point is they'll ask ridiculous, stupid questions, ridiculous, celebrity, bloated questions. And Luke goes into a lot of these events, Luke Rudkowski does, and he asks real questions. He'll ask, hey, what do you think of Obama's drone policy? Hey, what do you think of the NSA spying? Hey, what do you think of the National Defense Authorization Act? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Blah, 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 blah. And he'll ask these real questions, and more often than not, he'll get kind of shunned, and they'll act kind of weird, like, why are you asking me this? You're supposed to ask only low frequency pre-designated questions here. There's a disturbance in the force. But he doesn't care, again, he doesn't excuse me. I'll have to pardon me. I'm still sort of getting over my sickness that I've had for going on 2 weeks now. I actually missed the show a couple of weeks ago because of this sickness, and now I am I'm still not completely better, but anyway, so Luke Rudkowski, man, again, way to go, Luke Rudkowski. A really great guy. And a lot of people are saying in the comments, he's an idiot. He shouldn't be at these events. This is just not the time, the place. I understand what he's trying to do, but it's just not the time and the place. Don't go in there and, cause a big fuss like this. I would have blocked him too, is what a lot of people are saying. And, this is just generally the attitude that a lot of people have, and of course a lot of people who are awake, who know what's going on in the world, and who don't obsess over celebrity gossip all the time, a lot of those people are saying, good job, and saying basically the same things I'm saying, but a huge chunk of people, a huge majority of people, just think it's so terrible that he would go into this red carpet event that's supposed to be about just football and just acting and just stuff like that. And he asks a real question. He asks someone what their views on Obama's controversial policies are. And you notice that the guy didn't even care at first. If you watch the video, which I'd encourage everyone to go check out this video, it's a good video, and it shows just this journalism, this real journalism that needs to be going on. But you'll notice in the video, he doesn't really care. Terry Crews does not really care when Luke first asks him the question. When he first says, hey, what do you think of Obama? Because that's what he asked him first, is just, what do you think of President Obama? And I think that is considered close enough into the realm of just low frequency, random mainstream questions that Crews is just like, he just wants to know what I think of Obama, but, probably because, I'm just going to give the stereotypical, yeah, he's doing great for the black community, he's doing great for this, he's doing great for the blah, 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 blah. The average random celebrity answer to supporting Obama. So he gave a little answer, yeah, I really like Obama, he's great, State of the Union. And, then he made a little comment about the State of the Union interrupting one of his favorite TV shows or something like that. A little humorous, thing there. And then, he didn't really think anything of it. But then after that, Luke went on and he actually got deeper, and that's when Terry Crews started to think, oh my God, I've got an answer a question about politics. I have to actually know something for this question. I can't just skip through and just pull something out of my ass. I actually have to know something for this, and Luke's asking him, are you okay with the NSA spying then? Are you okay with, the revelations made by Edward Snowden? And of course the guy has no idea who Edward Snowden is. He says, "Oh well, I heard about him. You know, I know the name, but I just can't put a face with the name. You know, I just don't know who he is. I don't know what all that. Do you have proof of all this NSA stuff? Do you have proof that they're spying on everybody? I think maybe you've been talking to him." And you know, he just goes on rambling like this, and you know, I mean, it's just pathetic that this guy, you know, who's in the public light, who's you know, an actor and you know, a popular actor, a popular former NFL player, you know, all of these people listen to him, and all of these people support him and follow him, and the whole nine yards, and yet he doesn't know anything about anything. You know, he can't even tell you who Edward Snowden is. You know, he can't tell you anything remotely about the NSA spying, which at least most people somewhat know about Edward Snowden now, and at least the average American somewhat knows about, you know, the revelations and the NSA spying now, at least, even if it's on a very low level, because the mainstream media has even been covering it. But, you know, this guy doesn't even know that. He doesn't even know who Edward Snowden is. He doesn't know any of this stuff. And it just shows you how ridiculously idiotic a lot of these celebrities are, and a lot of these people who follow these celebrities. That's why I always like to point out when we actually have good positive celebrities, or good positive role models that people can look up to in you know, culture, or in you know, whatever it is, entertainment, whether it's music or you know, film, or you know, sports, or whatever it is. You know, that's why I like you know, that's why I made a big deal out of when Russell Brand came out with all of his stuff, when he was doing the whole, I guess he still is doing the whole political front thing, and coming out and saying all these things, everything that he did on MSNBC's program, you know, and that's an exact contrast there to this story, what Russell Brand did, because he was basically breaking out of the mainstream thing. You know, they were asking him those mundane questions like the other interviewers were asking, Terry Crews, and he broke through, and, you know, he pointed out how ridiculous the whole mainstream media is, and just how pre-scripted and ridiculous it is. And, you know, then this Terry Crews guy turns around, and he doesn't even know who Edward Snowden is. So it's a direct contrast there. And again, that's why I like to point out the good in culture. That's why I like to point out the good people, you know, the celebrities, or the which I think everyone needs to tone it down on the celebrity obsession anyway. You know, I've said before, you know, it's okay if you want to watch an occasional movie, or it's okay if you want to watch an occasional game. You know, it's okay if you want to follow some music or follow some stuff like that. You know, I don't see a problem with any of that myself. Some people would argue with me. Some people do see a problem with, you know, just engaging in any of it. But I don't see a problem with watching occasionally. I just don't like that people obsess over these celebrities. But, you know, I do point out the good ones. I point out whenever any of these people are coming out and, you know, saying good things, breaking out of the paradigm, you know, being politically active, being, you know, even if I don't necessarily agree with their political stance, much like in Russell Brand's case. You know, he's you know, he's more of a socialist leaning, you know, left winger, whereas I'm a sort of an anarcho-capitalist libertarian. So, you know, there's a huge contrast there, but hey, if, you know, you're breaking out of the paradigm, if you're actually talking about real issues and not just this back and forth celebrity BS, then I have the utmost respect for you. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Go check it out. Terry Crews. I'm an actor. I just pretend. And that says a lot for it, because all of these people are just pretending and in this false world, and they get so caught up into it that becomes their actual life. That really becomes their actual life. All right, I want to cover one more football related thing, and then I'm going to get into the big thing that I want to talk about, which is this zombification of society and the zombie apocalypse that I see coming. First, I want to talk about this article that I wrote for Digital Journal several days ago. Football fans know sports facts, don't know who vice president is. Fans are gearing up for the big game in New Jersey tonight. This was written on the day of the Super Bowl. And while they appear to know everything there is to know about the Broncos and Seahawks, do they know any anything about the rest of the world. In a YouTube video titled NFL Zombies on the Loose, Infowars.com showed just how much the average football fan knows about current events and politics. Infowars reporter Jakari Jackson took to the streets yesterday to interview a few fans who were gearing up for tonight's Super Bowl. He started off by asking them basic questions about the sport, who they thought would win, who they favored one team over the other, or why they favored one team over the other, and so forth. Then came the real test. Can you name the Fourth Amendment to the Bill of Rights? Jackson asked this question to several stunned football fans who were all unable to answer. He then asked the interviewees to name at least 2 amendments in the Bill of Rights, just 2, something else that was apparently too much of a task for the average Bronco and Seahawks fan. One clearly enlightened individual, no sarcasm there, even responded to one of the questions by saying, "We do not know this. We only know about football. We don't care about the Bill of Rights or whoever created the Bill of Rights. Only football. That's it." And that's a direct quote. That's exactly what the guy said. One woman didn't even know who the Vice President of the United States was, responding simply with, "I don't know." Back in 2012, Luke Radowski with We Are Change did a Super Bowl challenge video asking fans at a bar questions about football and following up with questions about the NDAA and the 2012 presidential election. So yeah, I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. And most of us know this, most of us who are awake, most of us who are enlightened, even a tad bit, we know that all of these people walking the streets just, the average person on the streets doesn't know who the vice president is. I mean, that is just a fact. A lot of people do not know who the freaking vice president is. A lot of people probably don't even know who the president is. I don't know. I think a lot of people know at least who the president is. A lot of people don't know who the Secretary of State is. A lot of people don't know who the Vice President is. A lot of people don't know, a lot of people don't know probably where the capital is, a lot of people don't know the capital of their own state. A lot of people don't know the capital of the United States. A lot of people don't know, couldn't name all 50 states. I mean, people are just absolutely the 3 branches of government. Most people don't even know the freaking 3 branches of government because it's all this bullcrap excuse we have for an education system here in this country. Nobody knows anything. Everybody's just completely an idiot. Everyone's brainwashed, and anything anyone cares about is just sports or, football or basketball or Justin Bieber or, oh God, everyone went freaking nuts when Justin Bieber got arrested for whatever the hell it was, a speeding ticket or whatever he did. But nobody cares, when they pass a bill through Congress that could affect everyone. Nobody cares when they pass the National Defense Authorization Act, when the president signs into law back in 2012 the National Defense Authorization Act with a clause in it that allows for the indefinite detention of American citizens. I mean, that's total. That's a total tyranny right there. That's totally, they can indefinitely detain anyone they want on the streets just because they feel like it, If they don't agree with your political views, if they don't agree with your, if they don't agree with the color of your skin, if they don't agree with you for who you are, for what you stand for your sexual orientation, for your gender, whatever it is, if they don't like you, they can now indefinitely detain you. Just on the basis of, oh, you might be a terrorist, you look suspicious to us. They can take you to Guantanamo Bay, lock you away in a cell, torture you, do whatever they want to with you, according to the National Defense Authorization Act, or the clauses thereof, and they can do all kinds of crap under the Patriot Act, but nobody cares about that. No. We just care about football and basketball and Justin Bieber. We don't care about the Bill of Rights. We don't care about what the Bill of Rights say. I mean, if everyone could just take a 10-minute break from, if everyone could just take 10 to 20 minutes every day, a 10 to 20 minute break from all the Justin Bieber and sports bull crap and just read a book or read the Constitution, read the Bill of Rights, learn something about your natural rights, take up a cause, go out and protest on the streets for anything. thing, for Christ's sake. Go out and protest for pot legalization. Go out and protest for gay rights, for human rights, for against, government spying, against this, against that, whatever. If everyone could just take 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes out of their day of pop culture, sport, BS, and just do something meaningful, with their life, something that actually means something, the whole world would be a much better place, and we wouldn't have these brain-dead zombies walking across the street who only know about sports and do not care about the Bill of Rights, just like this one guy said. Where's the quote here? Where's the direct quote? This is a direct quote from a guy. He said, we don't care about the Bill of Rights or whoever created the Bill of Rights, only football, that's it. I mean, what the heck? The Bill of Rights gives you, written. Of course, we all have basic human rights naturally. I mean, we know that. I know that as a libertarian, as an anarcho-capitalist. I believe strongly in basic human natural rights. But, the Bill of Rights gives us, those basic rights in paper so that, so it's supposed to be the case that the government can't impose certain laws that go against those rights, that infringe on those rights. But nobody cares about that. Nobody cares, about that. They don't care that their rights are being, taken away. They don't care what their rights are or, what the Bill of Rights even says. They just care about who's gonna win the football game, who's gonna, if the Seahawks or the Broncos are gonna win, or this or that. I mean, just such idiots. Such ridiculous idiots. And, and those who even do take a little bit of a stance on politics, in society, a majority of those people are just like, oh yeah, I like Obama, I'm trendy, or oh yeah, I like Romney, I'm trendy, or oh, I like whoever, I'm trendy, I'm Republican, Democrat, whatever, who cares, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just, this is the mindset of the average person. I mean, they just don't care. They pick a side based on, my God, most people probably pick a political party based on the freaking icon or the freaking logo. Oh my God, that's a cute donkey. I like Democrats. Or, oh my God, I love elephants. I'm gonna vote Republican. Or I like red, or I like blue, so I'm gonna vote one way or the other. I mean, what the hell is wrong with people? They don't know anything about what either of the parties stand for. Most people don't realize that the two parties that we have, the Democratic and the Republican Party, the two major parties, are absolutely just almost 99.99999% the same. There are only a few small differences just to make it look like there's a little bit of a difference. Most people don't know and don't care that all of the mainstream candidates are bought and paid for by the same corporation. Literally, I mean, you can look it up. It's on record. The same corporations, the same elitists, the same people are buying off and paying for the Republicans and the Democrats. I mean, this is on record. They're buying for the same people, and it's your big corporations like that have a reason. To pay off politicians, like Monsanto with the GMO foods, or like, Goldman Sachs and all of these other huge backers. And man, I'm just going off on a rant here, but this is just, this is the core of it here. People just only care about Justin Bieber and sports and football, and they don't care that the whole system is a scam. They don't care about that. They don't want to learn anything about politics. They don't want to learn, they don't even take 5 minutes to learn a little bit about what's going on, or to sit down and listen to someone like me, or someone like, anyone else on UCY.TV, or anyone else that has political talk radio, or anything like that, that's outside of the mainstream, that's trying to wake them up to this. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but by God, I'm trying. I'm sitting here, I'm trying to tell people what's going on, I'm trying to wake people up, I'm trying to inform people to the best of my ability, I'm trying to, give my perspective on everything and show people what I think is going on. And people just don't care. People don't care, to take the 5 minutes or the 10 minutes or the 20 minutes or the 30 minutes or the hour to listen to someone who's trying to inform them and trying to get them out of the rut so that they don't get screwed over by the government and the corporations. That's all I'm trying to do. I want people to be able to live their life happily. You know, I'm all about peace and love and happiness and, you know, being in tune, but I'm also about being informed and knowing what the hell's going on around you and taking a stand for something. My God, just take a stand for something, people, other than the Seahawks or the Broncos. If people could put half the effort that they put into the Seahawks and the Broncos and, you know, supporting these teams than they do, you know, if they could put half that effort into some sort of political cause, you know, like I said before, I don't care if it's, you know, pot legalization or drug legalization, you know, ending the war on drugs, ending the police state, ending police brutality, ending the surveillance state, you know, ending the NSA programs, you know, cutting government spending, you know, cutting taxes, you know, doing this, doing that, gay rights, human rights, civil rights, basic rights. If people could put half of the effort, just half of the effort that they put into rooting for their favorite sports team or following their favorite celebrity, that if they could put half of that effort into some sort of cause for humanity, then we would have such a better place to live in right now. We would have such a better world. The corporations would stand would stand no chance. The government would stand no chance. Our corrupt military-industrial complex, all of the, you know, it would stand no chance. You know, protest war. I mean, my God, even people my age. You know, many of you might not know this, but I'm the youngest host here on UCY. In fact, at least to my knowledge at this point, you know, I'm 18 years old, and you know, I'm a young guy, and what I hate to see is my fellow youth, you know, people from the ages of 16, you know, to 25. The youth used to be one of the biggest political, you know, advocacy groups in the freaking world. You know, what happened to the politically active youth from decades ago? What happened to all of the youth out on the streets holding hands and singing Kumbaya and protesting the war? You know, what happened to all of the youth that were so for ending the war on drugs and the police state and the wars and all of this stuff? What happened to the youth? I mean, my God, come on, people. I want to get my generation up and going. I want to get the youth, you know, with a fire in their hearts, you know, for something other than just their favorite celebrities and football teams. And I've already spent the entire show ranting about this and ranting and raving, and I'm going to try to tone it down a little bit. I only have a little bit of time left, and I was actually wanting to get into this whole zombie apocalypse thing. I might actually save a big majority of that for for my show next week. But on next Friday's show, because the Monday show will be the Gun Talk show again. But man, I mean, just come on, folks. Let's just get some people going here. Let's just rile some people up. Get people as excited about, you know, and this is 10 times more exciting. This is 100 times more exciting. Real life, real issues, real stuff that's going on. If we could just show people that it's 100 times more interesting and more rewarding to be involved in something that means something than it is to follow your favorite football team or whatever. If we could just show people that it's thousands more times more exciting and rewarding, we could just get everyone on board and do this. And again, I'm not bashing football in general. You know, a lot of people like to bash football. A lot of people like to bash just you know, famous people in general. A lot of excuse me. A lot of people like to bash, you know, music entertainers, you know, just any type of entertainer. A lot of people like to bash the you know, the music industry and the pop culture industry and the movies. You know, I don't bash any of that stuff for what it's intended to be, you know, just for basic occasional entertainment. I think it's great. You know, I think it's fine to take a load off every once in a while. I mean, I do it. I take a load off every once in a while and I'll sit down and watch a movie or a TV show or something. Yeah, I see a lot of propaganda in that too, a lot of times, but I get past that and, you know, I'll just sit down and watch something for entertainment occasionally. You know, I do a lot of music. I follow a lot of music and listen to a lot of music. And, you know, I even play a little bit myself. Not, great by any means, but, you know, I follow some of that stuff. You know, I don't do the sports. I really don't do the sports. Occasionally I'll catch a college basketball game, but I even rarely do that anymore. But, you know, I don't think it's totally terrible for anyone to take the load off occasionally. But it's these people who just obsess over it. These people who just, you know, just like the powers that be want you to do, just stay blissfully ignorant in this paradigm of football and basketball and Justin Bieber. And that's where I get mad, and that's where I get angry, and that's where I say something needs to change, and people need to get off of all this crap and just wake the heck up and come into the real world. There is a real world around you. You know, there's an outside world, outside of just the celebrity BS. You know, go out and meet new people. Go out and have a good time. Go out and enjoy life. You know, go out and get in tune with your spiritual side. Go out and get in tune with politics. Get in tune with current events. Know what's going on. You know, be trailblazers. Be entrepreneurs. Be free spirits. Don't just sit around and watch football all the time and get drunk and get fat. My God, what has happened to humanity? It's the zombification, folks. It's the zombification, really is, and that's what I was wanting to spend a lot of time on. I guess in a way I have, but I was wanting to talk a little bit about this article that I wrote for the Anti-Media, and I will, since I'm quickly running out of time here, and I've been ranting a lot, I guess I'll introduce this article, and then also I encourage you to go read it for yourself over on the antimedia.org. I wrote it yesterday or the day before yesterday, and this just recently happened. A guy was running around ripping people's faces off, basically eating their faces off, and we've seen similar cases to this, and this is just another weird case here of a zombie-like case happening. The article I wrote is titled "The Zombie Apocalypse Continues. Man Bites 18-Year-Old's Face." Again, the zombie apocalypse continues. Man bites 18-year-old's face. And I wrote this for the antimedia.org. And I went on to sort of introduce it and talk a little bit about it. And basically what happened is this guy in Florida, in South Florida, I believe it was running around, and he was high on some sort of combination of drugs or something. I don't think there's really an official answer as to what, was going on. They're saying it was drugs, but basically he was running around and chasing after people. First of all, he was naked, wasn't wearing any clothes, as they reported, and he was running around chasing after people. He chased down an 18-year-old and bit his face. The 18-year-old sort of retaliated and attacked back, and the guy was just going absolutely insane. The police eventually had to shoot him and take him down, which, normally I don't like police brutality at all, and, I show a lot of these cases of police doing bad things, but my God, I would shoot the guy. If I saw a guy running around biting people's faces off, or if a guy was trying to bite my face off, you better believe I'm gonna shoot him or choke him out or hit him over the head with a blunt object or something to stop him. At that point, if he's trying to rip my face off with his teeth, I don't care if I kill him. My God, this is just absolutely crazy. He's lost, there's a point, I guess you could say I'm a very humanitarian person. I'm all for peace. I like peace and love and all that great stuff, and I think that's great. And I don't think violence is the answer in most cases. But there's a point when people lose their humanity. When they're doing these ridiculous things, they lose their humanity to me, in my eyes. And, this is one of those cases. The guy just loses his humanity. And that's a little bit about what I talk about in this article. And, I talked about there's so many different factors that play into this. It's a result in many cases of the GMOs, all of the genetically modified foods, all of the bad crap junk food, the chemtrails, the weather modification, all of the chemicals that are in the environment, the fracking, all the chemicals in the water, the fluoride. The obsession with pop culture, watching too much TV, getting indoctrinated, getting brainwashed, doing the too much fast food, the indoctrination in the public school system, just a combination of things. Just all these factors are coming together and basically turning people into zombies. So we basically do have the zombie apocalypse going on. And, this is it, folks. The zombie apocalypse is here, and it's only going to get worse if we continue to, support this culture, support this system that we have that props all of this behavior up. We saw back in May of 2012, also in Florida. This one was in Miami, Florida, where the guy ate the face off of a homeless man, attacked him for 18 minutes and ate his face off. We saw the thing just last year where a woman went crazy at McDonald's drive-thru and started bashing her head in the window and going crazy and attacking the woman because they didn't have any chicken McNuggets because it was breakfast time, and she was hissing and screaming and just totally not acting like even a human being at all. We've seen all of these, all of this crazy stuff. And, and then of course there's just the general random brain dead zombie on the street who doesn't know, who the vice president is, doesn't know their head from a hole in the ground. And, these people who only care about football and, not about anything that's going on in the world. So again, all of these factors coming together, it's sad, and it just shows how messed up society is, and it's a zombification. A lot of people have used this, this term before, and, I'll definitely use it. It is the zombification of society. It is the zombie apocalypse. If you want to see the zombie apocalypse, don't watch The Walking Dead, don't watch the, whatever any of these other shows or movies are, the zombie movies. You don't have to watch, any of these zombie movies to see the zombie apocalypse. Just look around you, folks. It's happening all around you. And, it may not be the actual, people getting up from the grave and walking, coming back from the dead, but people are basically dead, brain dead. And, I'm not saying this as hyperbole, really. I'm not saying this as a joke. I mean, really, this is, this is the zombie apocalypse. People are just turning into zombies. They're losing their humanity. They're losing love. They're losing compassion. They're losing individuality. They're losing all of these components of humanity. And they're just turning into lifeless drones. Just lifeless zombie-like vessels. And it's sad. Well, I've been ranting a lot this evening. I've been going on a lot about several different things, and, I didn't get to some of the stuff I was hoping to get to, but thanks so much for tuning in anyway. You can always go check me out in social media. I'd really appreciate it. Go check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/LibertyBattles, facebook.com/alternative journalism. I post my articles in both of those places. Go check out the UCY. Follow me on Twitter at ALN845 and at Liberty Battles. Drop me a line at libertybattles@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you would like to start contributing articles to the New Cultural Narrative, which I'm going to be developing. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight, and God bless.